Right, so I recently rewatched a 1976 Italian crime film called Nick the Sting, and the movie tells a lot of its sequences through split screen. And I got to thinking, 1976 was a little past the main burst of split screen fashionability, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Just off the top of my head, I mainly associate split screen with the years 1968 to 1970, and most strongly with one influential film in particular, 1968's The Thomas Crown Affair. But then again, movies employ different storytelling techniques for reasons other than just trendiness. The split screen technique actually arose from different needs and inspirations depending on the filmmaker and project using it. And the story of this technique, the story of split screen, involves two of the most important graphic designers to have ever worked in cinema, Saul Bass and Pablo Ferro, and two of the most influential architectural designers, Charles and Ray Eames. So let's try to get to the bottom of when and why split screen was so fashionable in cinema. And this is by no means a completist look. I hate the phoniness of becoming an instant expert on a subject, so I'll stick with the films already on my radar. And of course, there's no point in talking about any split-screen movies in this modern age of non-linear editing or digital editing. That stuff's all just too easy. No, we're talking about when split screen was achieved through a piece of technology called an optical printer. That had film projectors linked to a film camera, so you could rephotograph what you were projecting and end up with the effects on the new negative. Now, one of the primary cinematic uses for split screen for a long time was to depict a telephone call with both parties on screen at the same time. The 1959 romantic comedy Pillow Talk with Rock Hudson and Doris Day, and the musical number Telephone Hour from Bye Bye Birdie. Those two immediately spring to mind when I think about phone calls and split screen. I'm not sure how much extra time and expense would be involved if we're just talking split screens for phone calls. But when you get into using the technique more extensively, I have heard some data on that. Richard Fleischer, director of a 1968 split-screen movie, The Boston Strangler, said he had to tack on an extra week of shooting. And Fred Weintraub, executive producer of the 1970 feature-length documentary Woodstock, he said that the film's extensive use of split-screen added an extra $1 million to the budget. But that extra million for post-production, maybe that could help you get more of your money's worth out of your actual production. For instance, the Oscar-winning 1967 short, A Place to Stand, it crammed an approximate 90 minutes worth of footage into its 18-minute runtime.